Hello everybody and welcome to A-Class Marble presents The Chat Trap with me, Pavleen Gujral. Mr. Ajay Arya from A Square Designs in Bombay always had a keen interest in interiors right from his childhood. Belonging to a typical Marwadi business family, life had something else in store for him. Hello Ajay, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi Pavleen, thanks for having me over.
Thank you. So let's start off the interview by asking you that you were born in Calcutta, brought up in Bombay, and then you went back to Calcutta.
Yes, absolutely.
So how was the transition work-wise and personally?
So personally, I've spent most of my childhood in Bombay. I've grown up there and started working there before moving to Calcutta at the age of 23. So definitely I've got best of both the cities. So I am quite a Bombayite to that extent, having spent your childhood over there.
Right.
But having roots from Calcutta and now having to work there also. So I have stopped kind of calling myself from Bombay anymore because I've lived in Calcutta for as many number of years now.
So, but you started working in Bombay
Absolutely.
and then you moved to Calcutta.
Absolutely.
Did the sensibilities change a bit? And
Yes, of course. So when I started practicing, my signature style was all very straight line, modern, minimal. And then when I moved to Calcutta, it was quite fresh for the audience there, for the people of Calcutta. So it was very well taken, appreciated. But over the years with practice, somehow Calcutta is very, very rich in its own, it's got this colonial charm.
Right.
It's got this charm of the Zamindar era and stuff. And they're very, very nice, fine old things, which I started realizing that I should, value it. So, and there were projects which came my way, which had probably families, they had heirlooms coming down dynasties and such wonderful pieces of art, carpets, chandeliers, antiques. So then I somehow started cataloging everything of probably which a client had for the project and then started using it for the project.
Okay.
So there was this little twist in the styling and the way I did interiors, probably fusing the old world with the new. So and somehow even internationally or even if you're just talking about India, that it has become the trend now.
Okay.
Fusing a little bit of the old with the new. So that's been a very pleasant transition for me in my signature style.
Okay, lovely. So when you started off in Calcutta,
Yes.
How did it start? We were just talking about the it moment when you felt like, okay, people now realize that I'm there. So how tell us about that moment.
So there were a couple of projects which just instantly, took me to fame, if I may say so.
Yes, of course you may say so because we all know about those projects. So yes, definitely.
So the famous couture store from Calcutta, 85 Lansdowne, which was a brainchild of Shalini Nopani and Pooja Goenka. The Shisha, the hookah bar, which was one of its kind in Calcutta way back then in 2004. A couple of private residences which were quite popular then, those homes were designed to be, they were way ahead of their times for when it was done. And then somehow I started writing for the Telegraph, which is the English newspaper of Calcutta. So they came up with this tabloid called the T2. So I wrote a column for them on interiors and to do with interiors. So all these somehow just led to the popularity and then there was just no looking back.
So that makes the Ajay Arya of today from Calcutta. So you spoke about interiors, you don't belong to a family of either architects or interior designers, but
No.
this was your calling.
Absolutely.
How did that happen?
So I come from a pure business background. My family's been into the logistics business since the past 40, 50 years. And somehow from a very young age, literally when I was just about to turn 20, I started designing some furniture. I was always inclined towards the art, was very, very fond of arts and crafts. And so I just gave it a try. I started designing some home accessories, decor pieces and furniture with a fusion of materials of metal, wood and glass. And somehow just, it just became very popular. And then designing furniture, I got a first interior project in Bombay.
Okay.
Yeah, an office for someone at Nariman Point, and then
oh, lovely.
and then a couple of residences, and then that's how the journey just began.
Okay. So what was your parents' reaction when you suddenly said that I do not want to be part of the family business and I want to do something completely out of the box?
So they were quite supportive. They were quite patient. They allowed me to take it up, although it does take a lot of time to kind of settle down and to start making money. With when you're a startup or you're doing something like very very slowly. So they would wonder whether it's going to be whether I'm going to be able to support myself with this career choice.
Right.
But it picked up really well by God's grace, and then that's how we're sitting here today.
Yeah, that's how we're sitting. What a lovely journey. And I believe that your better half has also been a huge contributory factor to this journey of yours. And you have opened a design store also along with her. So please tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically, since I'd started designing accessories and furniture, so around 6-7 years back, my wife Shweta, she was like, we must now give it some sort of an identity, the furniture line. So we came up with this new company. That's a second vertical we have now. It's called Occurrent Home. So whereby I do the designing, and she's the one behind this company, and she looks after the studio. We have a studio by appointment where we display the furniture line. She also helps me curate all the art pieces and decor pieces for the studio. And
Okay, lovely. So how do you think, Ajay, that the sensibilities of the client and your sensibilities have changed over the years, especially in interiors, because interiors has taken leaps and bounds of changes?
Absolutely.
So how do you think that has changed?
So basically what I feel is earlier, it was very stereotypical, as in you would identify interiors with a classic look or a very modern look. So like I said, that's something which what's really changed is that we're looking at something that's trending. It need not just be completely classic, as in we are not trying to design homes which were probably made in the 1940s. We don't want to just emulate and replicate that. So even if someone who probably likes classic style of interiors like European classic or American classic, we would pick in elements and represent them in a modern way. Or even very very modern homes are a lot of people like it very very minimal, but then it's all luxe minimal.
Okay.
Quality has become very very important for people. So I somehow see this change that's happened for the better over a period of time.
So Ajay, you have formed a lineage of interior designers now, because I think your son is also slightly inclined, is he?
I hope so.
Okay.
He takes a little bit of interest. We're just going to be moving into a new home. So, while putting the mood boards together for our new house, he does take interest. He tells me what he likes, what he doesn't like. So, and I appreciate it, because every individual, they have their own sensibilities. So,
of course, and he's only 14 and he still has a sense of what he wants.
But all kids, they exactly know what they want. That's the next gen.
True, it really is. And like you said, you're building your new home.
Sure.
And tell us a bit about that. What is your own design space like?
So, as a person, I'm very, very simple. I probably, I've been an art collector, so I do not like any kind of opulent art. Probably would, just go a little basic. I feel there needs to be breathing space between all elements. And so, probably some parts of the house are going to be, again, this whole mix of the new and old. And maybe, the part which is going to be for my son, that can be more modern and to what he likes and appreciates.
Right. So are you going to build an office as well at home?
We have a study. So, with the current times, what all of us went through, so at any point if we need to work from home, so we have a study in the new house.
Okay. And like you talked about the current times, do you think that has brought about a change in how the clients have started approaching you?
Yes,
for
of
interiors?
course. Earlier it was all about the look and all, which still is. But what's become more paramount is the level of comfort. And also people have started realizing that, home is very, very important. That's the only one thing which, all of us could fall back to during those unprecedented times of COVID last year, especially during the lockdown. So somehow, it's strange that, when the unlock happened and then things were very, very slow. It took a while, for us to get permissions to resume work, site work at a lot of places, especially condominiums where people were living, and some apartments were undergoing this renovation or interior works. So the other residents would not be comfortable and would not give permission. Of course, I'm sure, like, all of us were so apprehensive about this whole pandemic. But gradually, like ever since August last year, it's just picked up so wonderfully. The work is bounced back. Not only for us, but that's the general perception. I hear this from a lot of people, like, from our fraternity within the industry. So people have started, like, they've probably come to this decision that, now it's time to build our homes and, like, have like very, very comfortable spaces for ourselves.
So that they spend maximum time.
Exactly.
Now they spend so much time in it.
Exactly.
Any recent project that you have felt very passionate about?
So I'm designing this beautiful holiday home in Bikaner, which is on the outskirts of Bikaner.
Lovely.
So it's for a client. I'd done a home for them earlier in Calcutta, and they happen to be from Bikaner, so they're making the second home for themselves. So this is like a resort style property, and then it came to me like a piece of land, and then we kind of conceptualized the project. Got another architect on board to do the architectural work, and then so I'm really excited about this project. And being in Bikaner, it's not really going to be like ethnic Rajasthanian style as far as the interiors are concerned.
Oh, it won't be.
It's going to be very modern, minimal and chic, and why can't that not happen?
Of course.
Like, in contemporary Indian design, that's how I would like to put it. So it is probably like modern architecture for a desert-like place. Even the landscaping is going to be quite arid.
Oh, lovely. That's quite in contrast to how culturally prevalent the city's architecture is otherwise all over.
Absolutely.
So Ajay, you have designed for very prominent people, very prominent families especially, prominent Marwadi families, if I can say, and you yourself being a Marwadi and very proud of your heritage. Do you think there's a certain change when you approach it, when you approach a project which is from a Marwadi family? Do you think that somehow it changes?
Yeah, to some extent, there's definitely a comfort level, like, there's a connect with the families, with the clients, because I understand their backgrounds and their lifestyles. So there are lot of people, like, one who yet stay kind of like, the family, especially in Calcutta, I'm sure even in other parts of India, where they like to live together.
Right.
So then it's quite prevalent, and houses are designed accordingly for them. But having said that, in most urban cities, like, whether it's in India or anywhere else in the world, all our lives are changing. And so there's no longer some sort of there's ethnic play really in our lifestyles. So probably like, a family of 3 staying in Bombay or Delhi or in Calcutta would have like a similar lifestyle.
Of course.
So then it's not so much of a connect. But then I think I'm blessed because I kind of understand both age groups really well. So with this whole Marwari background, I understand the joint family setup and the requirements and how a house needs to be, and the kitchens which are mainly being handled by a cook or domestic help, or if it's a house for the younger lot, which is more like a self-service apartment. So
you clearly have make that distinction because you're aware of both the fronts.
Yeah, I think I comfortably relate to both the lots. Like the older age group as well as the Gen Next.
Okay. Yeah. So when we talk of Gen Next, do you think that the way that Gen Next approaches a project is different from how you do it? How do you think it's different?
To some extent, yes. The younger lot, they have their own design sensibilities. They have their own preferences, and like we discussed earlier, for my son and like all other young people out there, they exactly know what they want. So and the whole way a house was planned is also changing. That's again to do with the next generation. It's also to do with the recent COVID times which we've had. So some of the new houses are more practical. The spaces could be multifunctional spaces. So probably it's a study room for the evening hours, or room to just chill and watch telly. Or in the morning, it doubles up as a meditation area within that same space. And of course, not everyone has the luxury of very large homes. So, everything needs to fit into a particular format. So I see that change happening with the Gen Next. They know their choices. They also take decisions very wisely at times. And yeah, so that's the change.
That
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a welcome change.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say, that it's such a welcome change. Yeah.
Okay, so Ajay, do you believe in trends?
To some extent, yes, of course. All of us, do get influenced in our daily lives. It's not just about interior design, whether it's fashion. It's about, for example, culinary is such a big trend now. It's trending everyone wants to cook at home.
Right, so true. Oh my gosh, this pandemic has made everybody into cooks.
So,
do you cook?
Not really. I did try my hands a little bit during the lockdown, but
really? What did you try and make? Did you mess up the kitchen?
A little bit. I had my wife and my son helping me out, so it wasn't so much of a mess.
But have you made anything for your son ever? Like just a quick
thing?
I
just made this banana cake during the lockdown.
Oh, lovely. That's not easy.
Yeah, I just got a recipe and from my nutritionist.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought I would try this at home.
Very nice. Did it turn out good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, good. So have you made it again?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to ask your son and your wife that.
Sure.
So did you make it again after that?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Okay. But how do you think, has the pandemic changed you as an interior designer, Ajay? Has somehow... Because I feel like this time with each other and with yourself has somehow changed everybody a bit. Do you think that has happened with you?
Yeah, in the recent months, what I really feel is I've started really filtering the kind of work I do. I probably now, being 40 plus, I just for the next 10, 15 years that I would be practicing, I just want to do work that I thoroughly enjoy and I believe in. So I want to take full responsibility of the work that's executed. So probably I wouldn't want to execute something like, sensibilities which, which don't match to mine. So that's a little bit of a change that's happened. Pre-COVID, all of us were always running around. I would do that. I don't know about others, but, I felt that I was just running around too much and now I should take it easy and give the projects the quality time it's required and do quality work. So that's a big change which I feel is happening for me.
So if you had to give your son, who would eventually want to become an interior designer, if you had to give one advice to him of what he should do and what he shouldn't do in order to do whatever he wants successfully?
Sure, I feel whether it's my son or any other young student, they should just probably follow their own instincts. Never be afraid of trying what you want to do. You could goof up a couple of times, but I'm sure it's going to really happen if you're passionate about it. It's all about an idea. So if they are the one who come up with a new idea, you never know what may just click. So they could be experimental, follow their own instincts, and give it the best shot. And there is, of course, there is absolute no, there's no replacement for hard work.
True. Very true.
That's the little advice I would give him and to anyone else.
Okay. And what about social media, about digital marketing?
Sure.
Do you think it is important in the industry right now, and are you a part of it?
Yes, of course, I'm a part of it. I realized that a little late. I think I got onto Instagram since the past 3 years now, but and somehow when I started practicing in the early 2000s, social media was not very big back then. Facebook happened, at least in India, it started picking up since 2008. That too, it was more for your personal connect.
Of course.
People using Facebook or Instagram or Twitter for their business accounts has just become popular in the past 4 or 5 years. We started using this since the past 3 years, and it's really helped us connect with with the audience, with our clientele. A lot of people know about Ajay Arya, but probably it's not always possible to come and see what kind of work I'm doing. So we do post a little bit of our work on social media, so whereby whether it's friends, it's clients or people in the industry, they get to see the kind of work I'm doing. So it's really helped us to a very great extent.
Yeah, I think it's a good tool to have and to use it wisely.
Absolutely. If it's being used correctly, I think it's really worth it.
So what do you see for A Square Designs in the next 5 years?
So in 2024, it's going to be 25 years of practice.
Oh, lovely.
So we definitely are really looking forward to a big celebration in 2024. And maybe in the next 5 years, I hope we would be doing projects in other cities in India. And like I said, doing like very, very quality work, which we are proud of. And maybe at some point, looking at my son Arav taking over the company.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think he's already has sensibilities for it. He already knows what he wants and what. So has he told you what color his room should be and what should it have?
Yeah, so he wants his bathroom to be absolutely minimal. It's
okay.
He wants it to be in black and natural walnut finish.
Oh, he mentioned those words also, so particular.
Absolutely.
Okay.
At times these kids just hear us talking over the phone. Although I don't bring back work too much at home, but at times, invariably they do get to hear things while we are at work, and they definitely observe a lot of things. I guess that's how he's just picked these up.
Really lovely. Well, it's always great to have somebody who's sure of themselves, so that you don't have to think a lot, you know what to do for him.
Sure.
Great. Thank you so much, Ajay. This was such a lovely conversation. And
thank you.
But before we let you go, we have a very interesting round for you. Here we go, Ajay, your rapid fire round. Okay.
Sure.
Minimalistic or eccentric?
Minimalistic.
Okay. Contemporary or classic?
Contemporary.
Striking facade or striking interiors?
Striking interiors.
Interiors, always. Work from home or go to office?
Go to office.
Bright lights or low lights?
Low lights.
Okay. Sustainability or durability?
Both.
Both. That's wise. Favorite material to work with?
Wood.
Favorite city to visit?
London.
London. Favorite work of architecture anywhere in the world that you really like?
Oh, there are quite a few of them.
In India, if I could say in India. In Calcutta, maybe.
Oh, in Calcutta. So the Victoria Memorial, I think that's the most beautiful building
That's
have in Calcutta. There's nothing, I think it's unmatched anywhere else in India. Of course, we have other monuments in other cities, but Victoria Memorial for sure.
On a day off, chill at home or go out?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Maybe chill in the daytime and go out in the night.
Sure.
Okay.
Although I'm quite a daylight person.
Oh, you're a daylight person. Okay. Date night would be movie at home or a dinner outside?
Dinner outside.
Lovely. That was really, really nice. Short and sweet, Ajay.
Thank you.
That was really good. Okay, but we have another quick rapid fire round, which is a very work rapid fire.
Okay.
Which we are very excited to ask you.
Sure.
So you know how marble is being used in the bathroom, on the walls, in the bedrooms, everywhere?
Sure.
So I'm going to shoot some types of marble at you.
Okay.
And you tell me where would you like to use them.
Of course.
So we would like to know the Ajay Arya point of view. It will help us to know you better. Okay, here we go, Ajay.
Sure.
So Satvario.
Flooring.
Michelangelo.
Flooring or bathrooms.
Okay. Thassos White.
Use it very sparingly, maybe just, for a prayer room or a tabletop.
Okay. Amazonite.
A feature wall, for a feature wall.
Oh, lovely, yeah. Soda Light Blue.
For a feature wall again.
Very nice, Ajay. That was a lovely rapid fire round. You were very, very rapid.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I completely did. Thank you so much, Pavleen.
Thank you. Thank you. I would now like to call upon Mr. Ramesh Bhandari, Director A-Class Marble, to get a memento signed by our guest, Mr. Ajay Arya from A Square Designs, Kolkata. Calm, composed and very suave. That's the renowned Mr. Ajay Arya for you from Kolkata. Well, that's it for today. See you all on a fresh new episode of The Chat Trap with me, Pavleen Gujral. Till then, ciao.